in that September-October time period. You should be sending away for all the application materials during that September and October time period so that you get the application forms and you study them, you look over like, what do I have to do? How many recommendations do I have to send? What kind of tests do I have to take? What kind of money do I need to send? You know, all that stuff. Figure out what the application process is. Because you're going to need to send a transcript. There's usually a student essay where you have to write. And the question is almost always, tell me about yourself. So you always need to start thinking about how are you going to write a paragraph about yourself. You think about that. And if you were here for a little longer, we might talk about some of the kinds of things that you might be able to write that I think would be very, very helpful to you. But so figure out a story. One of the girls that came and was just accepted to one of the biggest, most prestigious schools in the United States. She was coming from China, Shanghai, as a matter of fact. And so her whole theme in her essay was that I want to come to the United States because I want to learn how to learn, not what to learn. And then she made her whole essay based on that kind of general concept. And they were like, wow, that was very impressive. So you might want to figure out a story, you know, maybe some kind of philosophy that you believe in, or some kind of goal that you have, or some kind of purpose that you have to be able to talk about that. So that happens in the October time period. November, you should certainly be looking at what test you need to take, you know, maybe even, I would recommend taking the test early, and if you need to, often, as much as you can. Many people, and this is what Mrs. O'Brien said yesterday, many people say, well, I'm going to wait and take the SAT at the latest possible date, take this stuff and then submit it, because I'll have a better chance of getting a higher score on my SSAT if I take it as late as possible, because I can study, and then I'll have a better score, which will give me a better chance to get in. But by the time they do that, the top drawer is already full. And then it's a little hard. So it's probably, you have to decide, is it a good strategy? Take the test early, and if there's some way for you to see what your score is before they send it, and that was what was so good about going to the Harker School, because you could take the test, send it to the Harker School, we could see what you got before we sent it out to the whole world. That was really, really good when that happened. So maybe there's some kind of arrangement that you'd ever be able to figure out how you do that. But then go ahead and apply early. Hello, Mr. Wood. Is there a time? Are we in any kind of time frame here that we want to?
It needs to be done by 10 to 5.
10 to 5. Okay, sure. Okay, well, and we'll be done before that as well. Okay, so then, so sending in all the application materials, I would strongly recommend to do that before the Christmas holiday. Even though they say maybe January 15th or February 1st or whatever, please try to send in as much of the material as you can, as early as you can. And by the way, a lot of times you have to give the recommendation letter to your teacher. And then you never know whether or not the teacher actually sends it in or not. So you have to be a little bit proactive. You might call and remind the teacher saying, just wanted to double check to see if you got my material, haven't been able to send it in yet. I would like to call the school and make sure that I got everything done. Very politely try to remind them to do it as soon as possible. You can also call the school and say, we got everything except your math teacher's recommendation. Then you got to go back and make sure that the math teacher has got it done. Okay? Anything else? I'm going to switch subjects for the last few minutes. The 5 things that you need to know to be successful. This was a very, very simple, even I could understand, very simple system for you to be successful in whatever you do, especially as a team. Very simple, even I could understand. Point number 1, the most of the 5 things to be successful is your attitude. Because an attitude is a choice. It's like what you wear every morning. You can get up in the morning and you can decide, what is my attitude going to be today? Don't let other people affect your attitude. You can get all the negative people, blah, 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 blah. Don't let them affect your attitude. You have a positive attitude. You can put on your best attitude of the day, and you go out there and try your very best. It's a choice that you make every day. There are 3 things that I want to talk about here. What you're capable of doing is determined by the